Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna mostly look at me when you move. Just keep it at an angle. You can move it though. It won't pick up the.
Stand up and clap.
Welcome to the King-Abrams Show. Check you out. What's up? What's in the mug? Give
What's
us
happening? Hey, you know what? It's just a prop. There's nothing in here. You know. Yeah. On TV, man, like Letterman and all those guys, you know, they're just drinking out of empty cups. You know, that it's a prop. They don't want to risk spilling it on themselves. You know.
I think Letterman had something in his cup.
Oh, there's definitely something in this cup.
Well, where are we?
How are you?
A few minutes late. Of course, we had a few technical issues to work out as per usual.
Whatever. People, right now, people aren't watching this episode live anyway because we're pre-recording it.
We are live, so there might be a slim few who actually do have our notifications turned on and decided to check in on a Thursday afternoon, perhaps for their lunch break.
Yeah, maybe if they're West Coast people, or perhaps their after lunch siesta. If they're this us Texans,
There you go.
Yeah, we're all supposed to take naps in the middle of the afternoon. That's the thing we do here. That's a. I don't know what's going on. We had technical difficulties last week, and I was bummed because we had like a really good topic started. We were going somewhere, and then it's just like, sorry guys, none of that got recorded. You know.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we gave it a noble attempt. We just our producer was out of state, and the hotel, I guess that he was saying, and could not the Wi-Fi could not accommodate.
No, we gotta get our producer a bigger budget for his hotel.
Yeah, no shit.
We can't be having him staying at at the crack house in the middle of North Carolina, you know.
Well, for the record, that wasn't my fault. But if I had to pay for it, he might have been at a crack house.
It was a Le Meridian, Sam, and it was some
Le
shitty
Meridian?
internet. Yeah, it sounds like French, and that it's going to be a good hotel. But I've never been. I was in Mexico on an island, Isla Mujeres, and I've done this show from there flawlessly. And St. Louis, and something about Charlotte, North Carolina, that shithole Le Meridian, worst internet.
Hey, now I'm from North Carolina.
Oh, sorry. But
Sam had something to do with the creation of the Le Meridian in Charlotte, apparently. That offended
wish, man. I wouldn't be here with you guys. I'd be on an island, you know.
Yeah.
If I had that kind of money.
You know what? Speaking of North Carolina, I'm actually heading out there in a couple of months, so I know what hotel to avoid. You know, when it comes down to it. But we're back. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I was talking last week about an experience I had with Viagra for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we didn't get any of that. None of that went on our podcast, I thought, right? None of it. I was told that none of that got recorded. And then like a couple days later, I see there's a clip of me talking about Viagra on our channel.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. So there was a 12-second clip and a 50-second clip. And I think one of those was your Viagra story. So you're happy about that. Yay. To the gods.
That's
my whole retaining that one important piece.
Yeah. No, that's my whole point. It was like I was told that it wasn't going to go up, and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, wait a minute, this is going up.
Yeah, well, in the spirit of transparency and just paying dues, we are leaving those two segments on just to also show that we did again, like you said, we had a noble attempt to our lives. Here we are. It's just afternoon Los Angeles time, and where you are in Dallas, Texas, we're just after 2 p.m. Yeah. And we have our guest in studio. Very excited to bring on a comedian. And this is what's unique about this guest is that we both know him, and we've both known him for some time.
Yeah.
Vince Royale, everybody.
Vince.
Hey. Thank you guys for having me. I'm just super excited just to be here. Like I said, I've known you guys for a few years now. I remember, meeting Brian in San Francisco where he did the Seafood Comedy Club thing.
Yeah.
That's right. Comedy and chatter.
Yeah. And where did we meet? Do you remember where we met?
I think it was the Ha Cafe.
At the Ha. Right, in one of those open mics and one of those shows. That's right.
I love Brian so much. I see him all over the country.
Yeah, Vince and I have done shows. Vince and I have done shows in various parts of the country, but like Vince and I were both East Coast people who relocated west, and so it's like, and for a while where he was bouncing back and forth between the East Coast and the West Coast, and I was too. Like we saw each other, and we recorded a podcast in Jersey on the Jersey Turnpike.
Yes,
you know, and
what are you doing in my hometown? That was very
yeah. And you know, he and I have a little bit of the history, and then you know what we're talking about in this story in this show, right? Sam told podcast is all about.
Yeah.
I got an idea. So XX or something like that.
XX
topic.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to be with two authors, man.
Thank you.
Y'all gonna make me start reading.
Hey, and you better at least read 2 books. All right.
I know. I've been doing a lot of YouTube audio books and stuff like that, but I do want a copy of both your books. So I really, appreciate you guys, venturing out. I've always respected your profession, Brian. I remember asking you I was in a toxic relationship, and I said, "Hey, Brian, I need some therapy, man. I'll give you some stage time." I was trying to give you stage time for some therapy.
Whatever you gotta do.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't sure if we could touch on any of that stuff because you the thing with you right now, Vince, is that you've been married for a while. I mean, every time you're
not a while,
a few years.
2 years. I've been with my lady, my wife, now 3 years. So I'm in a healthy place and a good place in my life right now, but not so much a few years ago.
I was for a while, Sam. I was Vince's unofficial sex therapist for a little while.
We definitely want to talk about the pre-marriage hot mess years, or however you just described them.
A lot of craziness and distractions prior to me being married.
That was probably back during the time when you have a few credits. You were accumulating some credits. I noticed that you've got MTV, you've got Showtime.
Yeah,
on your roster.
When I first started comedy, then nobody told me the TV credits were important. So I started in LA, but I'm from Jersey and New York. So the comics were like, well, you need to go to New York and Jersey and get a lot more stage time.
Yeah.
I did that. And then everybody in New York was telling me, man, you need TV credits. Move back to LA. You're making me move back and forth. So that was pretty, still a journey, man. It's still part of still hustling.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then you were accumulating all of these credits and hustling, and you were not in a serious relationship. Because my understanding is that your current wife, you met her not long before you married.
What's funny is because my TV credits, she saw me on Netflix. That's how she saw
hilarious.
me on the show on Instagram. And I'm
hilarious.
Like, oh, cool, man. I'm glad these TV credits are working.
Well, let me tell you, your wife is the perfect example of how stalking can pay off.
Exactly.
Right, it's a best case scenario.
Yeah, because but it only works for women. You know what I mean? Like if you're a dude and you see somebody on TV and you add them on Instagram and start following them and then you start messaging them and stuff like that, you're just gonna get blocked.
Yeah.
But a girl does that, you get married. Yeah.
So did you get a lot of DMs like when you?
I mean, random
were on
DMs,
Netflix?
but I never used it as that. I mean, maybe.
I'm just wondering how big the filter was. Where the one that dropped through was the one you ended up marrying.
Well, no, it's like when we decided we're gonna FaceTime, we just connected. We had so much in common, and I'm like, oh, cool, man. She's like, you're a real person. It's not people don't know. They think that you're super bigger than what you are.
Right.
She saw me on Netflix, and I had to explain to her, look, I'm still using my mom's Netflix account, so it's like it's not what it is. But
they even give you a free month of Netflix so you can watch yourself.
I stopped. I mean, there's only so many times you can watch yourself. You can say that. But I like being married because it keeps me focused on my career.
Right.
Like prior to that, like I said, it was like chasing females, and I think that kind of held me back from progressing in my career because I was so distracted.
By the
now
women.
it's like, you know what? I'm in a healthy place, and I'm not, putting myself in toxic situations. So I think once you get focused, and I think you need that,
Right. And then, so let's dig into that. You said that she keeps you focused.
Right.
Can we pick apart why? Is it because, like, because I know a lot of times men before they're married will work hard to make money so that they can like get hoes. Then you get a wife, and now you work hard to make money to what?
Well, now she's talking about like having kids in about 2 years, and I'm like, I got to step my game up. I can't live off Doritos and ramen, you know what I mean? I was like, that's cool for me as a single man, but she's talking about family, so I really have to focus on my career and level up, and be a provider for her.
And a better man.
I'm in a better man.
Right.
Too. And what I mean by she keeps me focused because, as comics, like we get a lot of attention. So every time after comedy shows, a lot of pretty female, you know what I mean? They'll come at you. And then I think like that kept me really distracted.
Right.
So I wasn't used to that. Like I didn't get that much attention in high school or college. When I started doing comedy as a young man, I'm like, wow, all I got to do is make these females laugh,
Right.
And I figured out I have a little superpower, like a gift. And so I think that's what I mean by focus. My wife, like, come on, let's just do the comedy show and go home.
Right. Yeah, because the reason that chasing women is distracting. Like women, we hear that and we kind of have to stop and think, what does that exactly mean? And I think what it boils down to is that you guys are spending time pursuing these
it's a lot of
illicit relationships.
Right.
And it's the time that you're spending, right? On social media, texting, calling, driving, pursuing. Right. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or is there more to it?
And on top of that, like, the female's not really understanding of the dynamics of the show business and entertainment career. They kind of take time away from your craft or your business.
Right.
I had very insecure relationships where female would complain about me spending too much time at comedy clubs or spending too much time just not, and then but my wife understands that I have to do what I need to do.
Right.
So they're not in that mindset to where like I'm really trying to build a foundation here and grow professionally. So it becomes a distraction.
That makes sense.
So she's ride or die. She's like, I'll go to your comedy shows. She's even helping me write and come up with new material. Like being married kind of gave me 30 minutes of new material. So
there it is.
That's dope.
Right, because we're talking about our experiences. Yeah, every time I've ever seen this is the first time I've seen you and she wasn't with you. Like you that nigga that brings your queen to every show, not every show, lots of shows.
I haven't even had a chance to meet her yet, so you're one
my biggest billboard, cheerleader. So, but today there was some things that needed to be handled at home. So I was like, look, we don't have to be the same place all the time. And like, we're still in the honeymoon phase. So she gets all sad. She's like, we're gonna be cool for a few hours. What you
niggas will clown that. People like dudes will clown you for bringing your woman, but really they sitting at home lonely than a motherfucker
anymore at this point. Right. You know what I mean? I've been in so much toxic relationships and situations. I'm like, I finally found something, that makes me happy. Like, she's very supportive and like I have like really, you know how it is, man. He had crazy experiences that we'll talk about. I guess we'll talk about exes.
Yeah, that's what we're getting ready to segue all the way from your queen, your love, your wife to these other extracurricular activities. So the distraction.
I'm glad she ain't here so I can talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, tell her not to watch this one either. Just say, hey, baby.
Well, it was all before. She knows who you are. You guys have an amazing energy, and I would imagine you're transparent.
That's where you came from.
We both had a past. She knew,
you
know what I mean? She knew I was out there hoeing, and so
she knows where you came from.
So speaking of hoeing.
Hoeing.
I just got the snort. I hope the mic picked up the snort. Yeah, so it's a distraction. It takes a lot of energy. Women are very emotional creatures. Mm-hmm. Even the women that think they can be emotionally detached get emotionally attached. And so not only do you have to deal with the time and energy based on pursuing the sex, but also managing the personality.
Right.
Were there any that you kept going back to?
Yeah, I've had but thing is when you're younger, you tend to focus more on oh, she's cute, nice body, sex is good. Of course, you're gonna come back to that. Yeah, right. You know what? And then you put that you set that as a priority versus man, is this person healthy? Why is she bipolar? All right, I'll deal with it. You know what I mean? She has a banging body. And then, but now it's after going through a few of those relationships, you're you know what? It's okay to be with somebody healthy.
Right.
But that's because I had to do a lot of work on myself to really understand, you know what? I don't have to settle for that.
Yeah.
And it's not all about surface thing. But at that time, I was yo, sex is amazing,
Yeah.
I used to pursue strippers and exotic dancers and, amateur porn stars.
Sure.
And to me, that was fun. But I realized, you know what? I can't take this chick home to my mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
She out here, they just
Your
give off
mom-
that energy.
Right. And so,
my mom can see through hoes.
and sex is better with the one that you love, who's also in love with you, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so far so good.
So far.
You know what I'm saying? It's I know I talk to people who've been married for a long time. They're you just gotta be creative and all that. So I'm you know what? Let's try to
the funny thing, I don't want to play devil's advocate here, but the funny thing about that is that nobody ever says you just got to be creative when you're talking about short-term relationships.
No.
So nobody ever says you just got to work at it when you talk about short-term relationships. So I mean, I'm in a relationship. I love it and everything, but I'm just saying that's the kind of thing we say when you've been having sex with the same person for a long period of time. It's you got to work at it. You got to try to keep it creative and stuff. Nobody needs that when it's somebody new. So I don't know. I don't know. That's
before when my approach was different. When I met a female for the first time, we're trying to get her in bed right away.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking long term.
Sure.
Right.
So now with the blessing here was my wife. We had a long distance relationship for months, so we're able to really connect and then get to know each other. So it's not just about the physical. So now I'm thinking long term, So we do other things outside of sex too. If you have to be best friends with the person you're gonna be with for a long time.
Absolutely.
And then I think that like I said, when before it was man, how fast can I get into bed with this person? So
how fast?
Yeah.
What's the record?
I want to hear.
I've had first date sex.
So how many hours?
Yeah, we're talking like an hour into hey, nice to meet you. Let's go.
Right after dinner.
You have to sit through dinner and stuff first.
So 3 hours?
Yeah.
2 hours?
About 2 hours. Yeah. It was.
Damn.
You ever pay for sex?
Yeah, about 2 hours. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of Facebook messages back and forth. And then, hey, we'll meet up, have dinner, and then boom. And we didn't even get to a hotel or nothing like that. It's literally, I'm embarrassed to say I've done the back seat of my car.
Back seat of the Jeep. I think we all have.
That's the reason I wanted to buy a bigger car. That's the reason I wanted to buy a bigger car, man.
Yeah, you know what?
Car sex is exciting and fun. Let's face it,
I've had a lot of car, because not only that, because sometimes the woman I've dated before would have kids and they would have to wait till their kids go to bed, so she'd meet me outside, and
Let's find out. Single moms are the highest perpetrators when it comes to car sex.
Oh yeah, that's you got.
I'm always paranoid in the back of my mind. Oh man, if we get caught,
guilty as charged.
Is it true if you get caught having sex in your car that you'll be registered?
I don't know. I got caught when I was doing that when I was 19 in Washington D.C. and it was with my boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
And they thought I was a hooker because I had a big wad of money in my pocket.
Nice.
So,
but they did not arrest me.
Yeah, you can get arrested. It is definitely indecent behavior. I think probably most cops are going to be are just going to be get out of here. They're going to be lenient.
Yeah.
But especially it is technically indecent behavior. But I don't know if it classifies as a sex offense. I don't know if if you're a sex offender because
that's something I think. I
guess it depends on what you're doing in there. Like if you're waving your dick at the window, then
that's different. Yeah. Or like, and also too, if you're making an effort to do it somewhere where you're not going to be found, like you're in a dark alleyway or in a back behind a building. But if you're like in the middle of the parking lot at Chuck E. Cheese and you're going at it,
that's something my wife does not want to do. She's like,
never in the car.
Yeah, she goes, I don't.
She doesn't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Sexual in the car, and she's just paranoid. She goes, if we get caught, we're gonna be registered. And I'm like,
you know what? You guys should try it. You should be like, just try it. But that's what I thought until I did it. Like I got caught. Like the first time I was in the car was when I was 19 and I got caught.
Wow.
Right. And I think maybe there was one other time did not get caught. And then I won't say how old, but in my, I would say fairly recent. I was like, I told you, I was like, I'm not.
It was last week. Right? Come on. It was last week. You know it.
Listen, I love it. Sometimes it's exciting, just to have an extra, right? Little extra danger.
I love sex in cars. I miss sex in cars. I have
long walks in the park.
It is not something. No, it's not something that I could pull off a lot. It's not something.
I had no idea. You tell her I had no idea. Say what, Brian?
I said it's not something I've been able to pull off in years. We got a car seat in the back seat. There's a kid sitting in it almost all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, man. But before the kid was there, oh man, my girlfriend, my partner Sarah, man, we were just, it was great. I missed that. You're making me nostalgic now, Vince. You just got me depressed, Vince.
Or you should be inspired. You should just, maybe you could get a babysitter just so you guys can go down to the car and do it.
I know, right? Just go, but it's just like, baby, let's just go back to the car for old time's sake,
My goal is, man, I'm gonna get her to do it in the car.
Yeah.
And also you gotta do it in the car.
Outdoors. We went out. We were out camping one time.
How am I gonna be in trouble? Usually the guest is the one that's gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble now for this.
Oh, there you go.
So keep going. You were gonna do it outside.
Yeah, my wife's a beautiful Black woman, and so I suggested, babe, we should be romantic and what I'm saying, make love outside in the woods. And I quote, this is what she tells me. She goes, oh, what the hell? Oh, hell no. She goes, what you think this is? A white people porno? I'm like,
hilarious. Yes, let's pretend it's
it's so interesting to see you as a married man, Vince. It's really cool. It's refreshing.
Thanks, man.
Almost every day, this man is posting like my wife this, my wife that. You know what I mean? Like this guy is happily married, and I know Vince from a time where he was. I wouldn't want to say unhappy, but it's like maybe he went through a period of confusion as a single guy, and we talked a lot about that on the road and stuff. But he's happily married, and you can see it in him. It's like this is legit. This isn't just like he's drank the Kool-Aid and he's momentarily preoccupied. It's there. I'm happy for you, man.
It definitely helps a lot, man. Especially if she has she helps me with graphic design and stuff. Makes flyers for me.
Oh, nice. So right.
I'm like, cool, babe. She's super supportive. So like I needed that, like I said, because I felt like I was a one-man show for a long time. But now like I got her, helping me network when we're out there. So
what's interesting is that we're trying to talk about sex, and I love the conversation about car sex, but at the end it always comes back to you with the love of your life. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, let me throw this out there, right? Are there any exes that you would have sex with now, if your wife would allow it?
Oh man, that question will get me in trouble.
No, it won't. Don't get him in trouble. We're making him answer.
I said if his wife would allow it. Only if his wife would allow it.
Well, here's how I was about to ask the very same question, Dr. King. I was gonna say, barring your current feelings in your current relationship, if you were to get into a time machine and remember back the days of car sex and hustling on your own, was there that one, maybe two, or was there at least one where you would sort of, it was on and off, where you would you actually remember breakup sex, makeup sex after the breakup sex with the ex.
Yeah, I remember I was with this one young lady, super toxic, party chick. Well, we broke up for about 6-7 months. We both, I got lonely, so I hit her up.
Sure.
And I said, hey, babe, I'm in Vegas. I said, I'm gonna fly you in, right?
Damn.
And we just had amazing makeup sex.
It was amazing. Yeah, it didn't go. It did well for you. It wasn't a bad idea.
It was a horrible idea. Because,
oh, right.
We got back to and we thinking, things gonna be better this time around.
Right.
She was a big, she had a lot of addictions, vices. I found myself in situations like, why am I here?
And can you count how many times you've actually had sex with the ex? Was it like more than you can count on one hand or less?
Yeah, more. Yeah.
More. Okay. And it wasn't always a bad idea?
I mean, no, the sex was great. It's just being in a relationship with her was such a bad idea. It was just very.
Okay, so getting back together with the ex, that was the bad thing.
That was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Which was caused by the ex sex.
Yeah.
Right. So every time you would go back and have sex, you would end up back in the relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why it was a bad idea.
That's the problem right there, man. That's it right there. You gotta quit getting in relationships with people you had sex with.
So like if you had sex and then the girl was like, oh, this is cool, let's just hook up every now and then when we are feeling horny, would that have been then a good idea?
I don't know. It was just, like I said, the sex was so good. She was what would people consider, that saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I was trying to do that and be like, no, man, that's nonsense. She could be a good woman, but she came from a place of hoedom. You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
And
for the record, go ahead.
And I say, you know what? She's gonna do a lot of whole things. So
Ho's gonna do whole things.
Whole things. Outside the bedroom.
They say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but you also cannot turn a hoe into a husband. That's you
can turn a hoe into a housewife, because for the record, I am sitting here as live evidence, because I was what you call an alcohol for many years, and then boom, I was a housewife. So there it is.
Well, that's my point actually with Vince, is that he's a hoe turned into a husband.
There you go.
I mean, would that be? I mean, that's the same thing.
I did my work though. I said I wanted to leave that. Leave that life alone. I want, trying to be a better person.
I think we should bring Mythbusters back and have them test so serious.
Get Adam
you really turn a hoe into a house or a housewife or a
I think you can spell hoe HU. What the hell, man? The husband. Turn a hoe into a husband.
That happens all the time, by the
way. Pretty much
all the time.
Every guy who gets married in his 20s, if you get married right out of high school, like maybe there's a chance you weren't hoeing it, but if you get married later on in life, you were hoeing it.
Yeah, you're not a house husband. You're just a hoe husband, which is fairly common, by the way.
I think it's like, you just gone through it so much that all right, cool, man. There's something more.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not, life ain't about just sex and just hooking up. No. And I realized, you know what? It's cool to have somebody that I can confide in and trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said earlier, the sex was amazing.
Yeah.
All those escapades. But at the same time, that gets old too, Like I wish I could go back. There's another chick that I wish I could go back in time.
Okay.
I knew it.
And I was in high school. No, I think I'm freshman in college. And
what happened?
Oh man, all right, I'll say it. I was in Jersey at that time, the first Dominican chick I ever been with. Man, she rocked my world.
Okay.
But she was like dumb as a rock.
Oh damn.
Yeah, like no conversation skills,
damn.
Nothing. And but the sex was amazing, but I could not have a conversation with her. So I'm like, man, should I keep going and doing this and just have, I felt like I had to dumb myself down to have a conversation with her.
Mm-hmm. I can relate to that.
I couldn't do it anymore, man.
Right. How long did you guys see each other?
For about 2-3 months.
Oh, so it was pretty short.
Yeah, it was pretty short.
But you wish you could go back. What was so amazing about her? Without giving like grueling details. Of course, if you want to, you can on this show. But
yeah, give them all.
What was so amazing? Was it like
it was the first time I had like a nice.
You could be specific.
Yo, she had the biggest booty in the world.
She had a big old booty.
Big old booty, nice body, cute face. I've never had that. You know what I'm saying?
Because she was so beautiful. That was why?
Yeah, she was attractive on the outside,
Okay.
And yeah, that was it.
It was like a whole fantasy. Here's this beautiful, gorgeous.
I think that's the first time I ever been with a beautiful woman.
Right.
I couldn't believe I was doing it.
Right.
Like, man, how did I score this one? Like, you ever had like sex with a woman that's like, is way out of your league, physically? And I'm like, damn, how did I do this?
So the whole time that's like, it's like, oh, that's making you nut. That's what's making you nut.
Pretty much.
I just go back.
You were so young. Yeah, you were young.
How am I getting in there?
But you've had sex with plenty of beautiful women now.
Oh, after that,
right?
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, man. But now it's like, beauty's just.
Have you looked her up? Do you know what she looks like now?
Oh yeah, she's married with kids now.
Is she still beautiful?
Is she still beautiful?
Attractive.
Yeah.
But she don't know that. She don't know that's how I felt about her at that time. Because I made it seem like, I have sex with beautiful women all the time. But she was like the second or third chick I had sex.
Did she dress up sexy?
Oh yeah.
And she was your age?
At that time, I think I was like 19. She was 18.
Damn. So I wonder where. I mean, at 18, I don't think I was like putting on lingerie quite yet.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. I was like 21, like 19, something like that. Because I was a freshman in college.
Samson, what time did we start the podcast? I think we were like maybe 10 after the hour. Time check.
It's crazy about that too.
We're at about 31 minutes, Sam, on the hour.
I remember like the first time, she was like the freakiest chick I've been with for the very first time. I've never had anybody dress up for me.
Right.
And wow, I was like, she's open to dressing up.
Sure.
Like she's open to wearing lingerie, dressing up as a nurse.
Right.
And I'm like, man, she was really amazing when it came to like sexual adventure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she was just dumb as a rock.
Damn.
I know.
Damn.
Well, there's somebody out there who didn't mind that she was so dumb.
At the same time, in her defense, she was super young too. But I was a lot more,
Talking about having sex with exes, and Sam and I have not had an opportunity to weigh in on the subject yet because of the problems. I have sort of a unique kind of approach to sex with exes, in that with very few exceptions, unless somebody has severely pissed me off or betrayed me or just I can't stand them, I don't consider exes to be exes. That's kind of my
right.
That's always been my rule. It's like my ex. She's a girl that I haven't hooked up with in a couple of years. So it's like
I can relate. They're not exes. They're just a guy that I used to fuck with, basically.
Exactly, and you fuck with him again because it's not really it's not a big deal.
But according to the research, when scientists do research on this area, they sort of have to classify, right, what that means. And anyone that was a previous sex partner would be considered an ex.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure there's exes. Go for it. No, tell us, man.
Go ahead.
I had one young lady, like maybe about a year or two before I met my wife. She was out of state. And she was very into me, and the sex was really amazing. She would send me gifts. This is the first time she would send me watches, cologne.
Ooh, yeah.
She's treating me like I'm a sugar baby.
You keep that one. I don't care. I don't care if you're married. You explain it. Hey, baby, I need a new watch. I'm gonna get this girl to send me one.
Don't listen to that boy. Don't listen to that boy, Vince.
And she was Asian, so she looked a lot younger than she was.
Yeah.
So, I was really into her. I was like, man, this woman can really take care of me and stuff. She's provided and stuff, and the sex was amazing. She never, when she told me when she was 28, 29 years old when we met, I was like, all right, cool, man. That's fine. Age ain't a thing for me. But then, I started to sense that she was a lot older than she was.
Oh.
Right. Which I don't care, about age, like I said. But the fact that you have to lie about that,
damn,
kind of like bothered me. So that's why I stopped messing with her. She was like 49.
She was almost 50.
That's like 20 years.
I was thinking about doing that because I'm pushing close towards pushing 50. Yeah, I should start telling people I'm 30.
Yo, but it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if she was like 60 or whatever, 50.
Right. Don't lie.
The fact that you lied about it and thinking that, it's going to bother me,
But you were just having sex with her, or are you thinking about something serious?
It could have went something serious, but the fact that she lied to me, like in the beginning, kind of bugged me. I'm like, no, we can't start a relationship with a lie.
Yeah.
Like,
because she might be lying about, like, what else are you lying about?
Exactly.
Right.
You can lie about that.
It's funny because with women, and like when we think of, like, we know it's like, how the FDA approves like a certain percentage of like really bad materials in our food. Like women, there's like a 25% differential where we know that our guys are lying. So it's kind of like in part acceptable. But she lied about her age, which in some circles is a reasonable lie. I wouldn't do that, but some women might be like, I could see why she did that.
But at the same time, like, I didn't care about the age. That was the thing. It was just a lie. I feel like if you lie about, I don't know. That's just me.
So Brian,
yeah,
you're right. We did. We brought Vince on kind of early, and we've been like asking him all these nosy questions, and you and I did not get a chance to catch up on what's going on with us.
Yeah.
Your better half is back in town. You guys are back together. They were apartments for.
Yeah. Talk about sex with exes. Man, it almost felt like that because she was gone so long. I'm like,
you were thinking about all the exes?
No, I'm thinking like she's my ex. Like she was gone so long. She was gone for like 10 days up there in New York and Boston. So it's good to have her back, though. It's nice. So I don't know. I think I'm going to announce this on this show because I haven't announced it anywhere else. This is a new. I'm going to make an announcement right now. It's special. Right. Okay? Not a big deal, but it's important. Earlier in the show, I referred to Sarah as my girlfriend. And that's always how I refer to her. We're not legally married. We have a kid, but we're not married. We've been together for 5-6 years or so. But we just recently decided that we are going to be a married couple. So it's weird. Like I don't know what that means moving forward. We haven't really figured that out, but I think for now on, I'm going to refer to her as my wife. And she's going to refer to me as her husband. So
congratulations!
That's awesome. Are you having a ceremony or reception?
I don't know, but you're invited, and there's going to be an orgy. That's what it's going to be.
Just invite me. I just need a chair. Let me just pull up with a chair.
There you go.
Some Cheetos.
As long as it's indoors, Brian, we can make it happen.
All right.
Well, that's wonderful, wonderful news. I'm so happy for the both of you. You must feel great about it.
Well, it doesn't really change much about the way we live, but more on on how we act with other people or how people interact with us, and also I don't know. We say we're partners. It's just kind of like in the minds of the rest of the world. It's kind of easier to say husband and wife,
Yeah.
And I think it'll make things easier for my kid, to explain when she goes to school, So I think we're, maybe we'll go get that paperwork done. I don't know, but I think that's why that's terminology that we decided to start using.
I think that's great, and I have to on the cuffs of that announcement, I'm going to just sort of add. It's not so much an announcement as well, but a change in mind because I've talked a lot, Brian. That my positioning on marriage was sort of like it's great when people can make it work. It's a beautiful thing, of course. However, I've done it once, and even though my picker was probably broken at the time, I didn't want to get married again. I thought, well, I can just have somebody beside me, somebody just give me those 3 things that I've always noted: sex, laughter, and respect. And then I don't need paperwork. But it has occurred to me over the course of, I would say, the last maybe 5 or 6 months, that there is something to that paper. It's not just a paper. I really changed my mind on this, especially considering the climate that I'm in with this ex-lover. I'm calling him both. He was an ex-dude I used to fuck with.
Right.
I fell in love with. And then, of course, 2 years went by after I left that 6-year toxic relationship. And then he came back, and Vince, now he's back. He said rather that he loves me, doesn't want to lose me, and all the right things. And as it turns out, I'm not sure he means any of it. But when I really pare it down, what could he do to fix it? Considering all the disrespect and all what I went through before, how could this be fixed? For him to come to me and say, I want to be with you, but I don't want to marry you, would be unacceptable.
Yeah.
So that's how it sort of occurred to me that the paper says, I, before God and man, choose you.
So I'll share something about myself, and this has nothing. I'm sorry if this is detracting from our subject and Vince or whatever, but whenever I have a fight with my girlfriend, whenever I have a fight with my partner, right? Depending on if it's a severe fight, and I'll admit, we had a really big issue recently. If it's a severe fight, almost the first thing that goes into my mind is drop her, get rid of her, kick her out. You know what I mean? Like, it's over between us. I'm leaving. You know, and that comes to mind too easy. And now, granted, if you're married, you still have the option to leave a relationship. But you've added this complication to your life, and so I think it discourages those types of thoughts from popping into your head. And that's just me as a never married person. That's just my opinion. You know, makes it harder to break up, and therefore that's not your first response. You know, honestly, and you know, I don't think about it all the time, but I recently had a situation where I was like, I'm kicking her out. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I was mad, and I don't want to jump to that conclusion so easily. You know, does that make sense? Is that so?
Yeah, it actually adds to what I said. It's more like, I choose you all the way before God and man.
Yeah. Well, you can leave out the God part.
Before everyone.
I feel like,
and the spirits. In the universe.
If you're all in, you're all in. That's how.
Yeah, it's all in. It says, this is how I prove that I'm all in. This ring on my finger, as you can see, I do not have one, says that I've chosen you, and I'm not embarrassed about it in any way.
Yeah.
So it does say that.
I never thought I was going to get married. Because of all the bullshit I went through with female.
Have you ever been married before, Vince? Is this your first one?
I was married in my early 20s, for about 6-7 years, and actually after getting divorced, like I remember that's how me and Sam connected, because I was like, "Yo, she's going through divorce too," and I went.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right.
I was going through the same thing at that time, and I was like, I'm going through severe depression, and I used stand-up comedy as a healing.
So did I.
But it developed into something bigger. It turned
one reason why I've never wanted to get married is because I really don't want to go through a divorce.
Yeah, it sucks.
I see people like you guys, and I'm just like, that's the worst. I don't want to do that. It's like it's
not that bad, Brian. I had a lot of good material come out of
it. Right. It sucks though. But on the other end of it, it's.
But I felt like it was needed for me to start my journey.
Right.
If I didn't go through that, I would have never chose stand up and go through these toxic relationships, because after that, most of my 20s I spent being married. So I spent a lot of my 30s being a bachelor and chasing females. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that journey allowed me to really figure out what I want in a partner. What I want in life. It served its purpose. But I didn't know I was going to get married again, but it took a lot of maybe 3 years of working on me to find something. It sounds corny, you know what I mean?
It's real shit.
I had to work on myself to really be healthy, to attract the another person that's healthy. Because the reason why I was attracting all these toxic females is because I wasn't working on me.
Right. Usually you're the common denominator. Whenever we
I feel like if you can attract females regardless of whether they're toxic or not, you're lucky. It's like,
depends on how you look at it. In our weakness we find our strength. I mean, you can't learn without failure.
Exactly.
So, hey, listen, Vince, you are such a dynamic comedian. You did my open mic, my heavy hitters open mic show last week, and it's been so long since I've seen you and your lovely, lovely wife there, who has a super awesome energy, by the way.
Oh yeah,
totally comfortable.
Super dope.
She's cool. Yeah, come back soon. Where can people find you?
I don't know if you have folks in Vegas, but I'll be in Vegas headlining the Firelight Barn. It's the Tickle Me Comedy Club. I'll be there Friday night and Saturday night. You can get tickets on ticklemecomedy.com.
So
dope. I'll be there this weekend, and just follow me on Instagram. I usually post all my dates up there. It's Vince Royale at Vince Royale, Royale.
There it is on the screen, you guys. Follow him on social everywhere at Vince Royale.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of content now too, so I'm like, catching up with a lot of content creators. I'm using Reels a lot more. I haven't done TikTok yet. But I'm having a lot of fun with IG Reels.
Right. Yeah, I just joined TikTok a few weeks ago. Still can't find either of my daughters on there. I know they're on there. So I'm getting to know that. But I looked at your social. You have pretty decent following and growing.
Man,
it's pretty amazing.
That took years.
Yeah.
All of them are. I don't know where they came from. But I guess it's just years and years of grinding. But still ain't enough, man.
You just keep going, Vince. Listen, I respect you. Your comedy game is so solid. Like,
thank you.
You really know what you're doing up there, and it shows. And so if you get a chance to see this guy live, please go for it. And before we leave, shout out to our producer, Samson Crouppen. We appreciate you and your adventures, especially last week.
Yeah, much love, Sam. And,
yeah.
I love you, Sam. I love both Sams.
Right.
And Brian, I want to get a copy of your books. Where can we get your books?
Well, I'm going to give you a signed copy for doing the show today. So you're going to leave with a copy. And so you can go on Amazon and you can get a copy of both our books. I wrote a book called The Complete Player, which is a neurological, that is a brain science breakdown of sex, love, lust, heartbreak, and self-worth. It's very funny, and it is all equally as academic as it is funny. And then Dr. Brian King wrote apparently a best-selling book. We're going to both give Dr. Brian King, Vince, we'll give him a round of applause because he made the #1 bestsellers list last week, I believe, for The Art of Taking It Easy. Dr. King, tell us about what happened.
I love that. I love when my friends succeed. So I can tell everybody like that. I know that.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Hey, Sam, we actually we
lost
Dr.
him.
King's feed.
Okay, well, listen, he's written a book. This is the second book that I think is the second book he's written. The first book was called The Laughing Cure. You can find the hardback, paperback, or the ebook on Amazon. And it's a very funny book about the science of laughter. And his recent book, The Art of Taking It Easy, has been dubbed, and there's an audio book, not English, but in other foreign language. I think there's a German, Italian, French, and Spanish, Castilian Spanish version, I believe. And then also he has made the #1 bestsellers list last week on Amazon. So, if you look his book up, you'll see that little tag. It's his #1 bestseller. And so we're very proud of him. So you can check it out. He's written 2 very funny and informative books. And so, again, you can check those out on Amazon. Vince, I love you. I appreciate you. Congratulations on your wonderful marriage and your beautiful wife.
I appreciate both of y'all.
This has been another. Yeah.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's good seeing you, Sam.
Thank you. This has been another case of the King-Abrams Show. We out.